Hey, what's up, everyone? This video we're looking at the 11-game Wednesday slate. Definitely hyped about this slate, coming off a 3-game slate where had a lot of injuries with Trae Young. Anthony Davis left the game, then came back and still dominated. We got 11 games today, and then we're back to just a 3-gamer tomorrow. So looking to, have a big day today. So let's get into it. You can drop a like down below and subscribe down there as well. And if you want to join, you can visit the website. Links in description. So looking to get back on track here. On DraftKings, FanDuel was able to make into a couple double 50-50s, but nothing really worth talking about. At point guard, we got still Harden, Westbrook at the top here. Both have just been fine. Harden finally had a good game where he put up 40 real-life points, but he still can't hit any of his shots. 3 of 14 from 3. He's now shooting 15% from 3, shooting 28% from the floor. He has been getting saved at the free throw line, facing off against the Wizards. It's obviously a good matchup for Harden for Westbrook. If he get to them, that's fine. Westbrook at 96, missed a triple-double by just 1 assist. I think, just because he's so much more aggressive on the rebounding, on the boards, he makes for a little safer play at 96. But I'm not sure if I want to pay all the way up today at point guard. We got some cheap ones here like Kyrie Irving, 8,700. He's been probably the best point guard so far through this season. 3 games, he's averaging 60 fantasy points. He's put up 64. First game put up 76. He's just the entire offense for this team. He's the floor general when he's out there. He is taking just a ton of shots. And unlike Harden, he's actually making a good percentage. Over 40% from 3, 45% from the floor. Matchup here against this Pacers team, which is off to a slow start. They are letting their opponents, they're pretty good defensively, but they are still allowing their opponents to make a high percentage of their shots. They don't play at such a fast pace, but this Brooklyn team does, and they're at home, so it should speed it up a little bit more for the Pacers. At 8,700, I think Irving is really, really cheap. Another guy that's very cheap is Devin Booker at 7,900 against the Warriors. I think he's a tremendous play. Warriors are so bad defensively. They are dead last right now in defensive efficiency throughout the first couple games. And Booker is as cheap as he's ever been this season, 79, sub 8K. Really good price there for Booker. And then I like Brogdon as well at 7,300. He's just been super safe. He's locked into 35, 36 minutes. Just been doing everything. Double-double in all 3 games. And when you got like Sabonis and Turner down there, it's going to be pretty easy to rack up 10 assists, especially if he's playing 35, 36 minutes like he is. He's a good shooter coming off a game where he shot under 30% from the floor, still put up 46 fantasy points. That is very, very encouraging. The guy I like here is cheap Ricky Rubio, 6,200. He's fit in really, really nicely as a member of the Suns. Just does everything on the floor. He has flirted with a triple-double in all 3 games. He's racking up some assists as well. Matchup here is really good against the Warriors team. They are just, like I said, dead last right now in defensive efficiency, defensive rating, just dead last in all those categories. They play top 10 in pace, so it should be a lot of points scored here. The Suns are still missing, a couple of their key guys like DeAndre Ayton is still suspended for a while. That's gonna just make it give the opportunity to other players to produce offensively, like Ricky Rubio, who's taken a decent amount of shots. Imagine if he actually has a good shooting game. He's just gonna blow his price tag. Put like an 8x value here at this price tag. He's also really opened up a lot of rebounding opportunities for Rubio without DeAndre Ayton down there clogging up the paint. 62 is really cheap for a guy that has that triple-double upside, and I think he can hit one today. Shooting guard, I'm liking Fred VanVleet here, 6,100. He's just playing so many minutes. The game against the Bulls was a blowout, so we didn't really see any fourth-quarter run. So he lost like 8 minutes there. In the other games, he's played 44, 42, and 39 minutes in close games. That is just so many minutes for a guy. Maybe like in a few months, all those minutes will catch up to him, but right now, they don't really have any other options, so they are just running their starters into the ground. VanVleet, another guy that is a much better shooter than he showed last game, 3 of 14, but he still put up 32 fantasy points. The matchup was a lot tougher there against the Magic, who have just a lot of big bodies in the paint with Isaac, with Aaron Gordon, with Vucevic. Now, the Pistons do also with Drummond, but their guard defense is a lot worse. He's going to be matched up against Frazier, probably starting again in place of Reggie Jackson, and then Derrick Rose off the bench, who just doesn't really have any defensive prowess. He's just really focused on the offensive end, and you don't really blame him there. Small forward, another Phoenix Sun guy that I like is a guy that I've been playing a lot. That's Kelly Oubre, 6,200. He's just so consistent, 39, 40, 36, 34. Price tag is only 6,200. You got to love the matchup here. This game has one of the higher totals on the slate. Oubre is just very aggressive on the floor, takes 10-plus shots every game. He is really racking up steals. He has multiple steals in 3 out of the 4 games. He has a block in at least 3 out of the 4. He's rebounding. One thing you would like to see is the assists go up a little bit more, but when you're playing with Ricky Rubio and Devin Booker, you're not going to get much opportunities to rack up assists, but he is their number 2 scoring option. Devin Booker seems perfectly fine letting Oubre, average 20-plus points a game, while Devin Booker is still like can go off at any game, but he doesn't seem as aggressive like he did in years past, I think. Especially at the end of last season, taking over the game and being the only source of offense really probably took a toll on him. So he seems perfectly fine. The Suns have also been playing exceptional basketball, so that's also probably something Monty Williams has preached as a coach, is sharing the rock and allowing everybody to contribute. Let's love the price tag on Oubre. 6,200 seems like a slam dunk. At power forward here, I am liking a couple Cavs. One Cav in particular. Don't think I would have really said that very often, but Kevin Love at 8,200 is a really, really good play, I think, today at home in Cleveland against his Bulls defense. The Bulls have been one of the worst rebounding teams in the league this season. They are giving up the most offensive rebounds, and they are giving up top 5 in defensive rebounds. Love has really been a force on the glass, averaging 15.7, playing a solid amount of minutes. You're going to get him for 33 to 36 minutes. If he has a big shooting game, we know he can put up 60 fantasy points. He's already got us 55 that one day. So I just like the price tag on Kevin Love at 8,200. I don't think you really need to go up here and pay a premium for Giannis, who I think is still fine here. He can put up 70 fantasy points. But he's on the road here against Boston. I think Giannis is, if you are paying up for him, he's fine. Leonard at 88. Also a solid play, although the matchup is tough here in Utah. I just have a gut feeling on Kevin Love. I just roll with it. I think he's going to put up a really solid game at 8,200. If he gets you over 48, that is exceeding 6x value, and I think that good chance he can get me close to 50, if not over 50 today. At center here, we have 2 of the best centers in the league going off against each other with Embiid and Towns. I don't really want any piece of Towns against Embiid. Embiid is definitely one to get out for these kind of matchups. I think he's going to try to lock down Towns. On the other hand, Towns, the way he's been playing, I don't know if Embiid's going to have a huge game because Towns has just been dominating. So I'll probably just pass on both of those guys. Don't really like Drummond in a tough matchup against Gasol. Gasol kind of he doesn't live in the paint, so it's going to be a little tougher for Drummond to rack up rebounds unless they switch off, unless Drummond just guards somebody else. The guy that I do like is, you can definitely go Vucevic at 8K. Cheap. He hasn't been good this season really, but he's definitely cheap. Good matchup against this Knicks team. They're going to need his size because they play 4 power forwards at one time on the team. Miles Turner's fine at 7K. It's tough price, but the matchup's solid, and he's definitely not going to get that much ownership. But I like Tristan Thompson as well here. He's just 6,500. He's been playing so well to start off the year. Already said how bad the Bulls are at rebounding. They are 30th in rebounding percentage. I think the Cavs are going to be able to put up some points here. They have been. And the 2 guys that are really locked into solid amount of minutes are Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love. Both guys can get a double-double. Both guys are soaking up all the rebounds down there, so that's always good to see. And Thompson is a double-double threat, probably a double-double machine this year. If he is going to play 33, 35 minutes, they don't really They're not playing like Larry Nance a lot, so his role seems very secure in a matchup against probably Wendell Carter. Is definitely winnable. I think Carter is questionable, probable, so that's good. So 65, I think, is definitely fine for Tristan Thompson. And then back to the guard position, I am going with Brogdon here, 7,300. I just like this mid-range to mid-range to 8K range. I think is filled with a lot of guys that have 50-point fantasy upside. Brogdon, another guy matched up against Kyrie Irving. Irving focuses a lot of his energy on the offensive end. They haven't been very good at defending point guards. I think Brogdon is in line for another double-double and potentially 50 fantasy points here. The Pacers really do need a win. The Brooklyn Nets also kind of want to win too. So coming off of that loss with Jay Crowder, that buzzer beater there, I think we're gonna see a good game. So that's it for the picks. That's what I'm liking. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed, you can hit the like on the video, and good luck today.